East Alabama prepares for bad weather and cancels many Thursday evening activities as the leftovers of a massive hurricane make their way north from the Gulf of Mexico.
Utilities workers are on standby to repair any damage the storm leaves behind, and state parks stand by to welcome people who are displaced by the hurricane.
The latest on the impact of Hurricane Helene on us here in East Alabama, that is coming up in weather.
The weather may be on the way, but high school football is still a go for tomorrow night, and there are some big games coming up in East Alabama. We'll get you caught up on that in sports. EAN Local News starts now.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by Oxford Lumber. Come visit any of our locations in Oxford, Jacksonville, Talladega, and Roanoke.
Hello, we're glad you could join us. I'm Katie Edwards.
And I'm Mike Stedham.
As East Alabama braces for the remnants of Hurricane Helene to pass through the area tonight and tomorrow, local school systems are changing their schedules out of concern for student safety. Some are delaying classes and others are reverting to virtual assignments for Friday. The Calhoun County school system canceled all after-school activities for this afternoon. Schools will also open 2 hours later than usual Friday morning, and officials say they are monitoring the weather and may make further changes to tomorrow's schedule if they need to. Meanwhile, Oxford school officials have also canceled all after-school activities and extended care this afternoon. Friday will be a virtual or e-learning day for all Oxford schools. Kindergarten through 4th grade students will get assignments sent home with instructions, and 5th grade through 12th grade students will bring their device home with their work for the day. On Friday evening, all after-school activities will take place as scheduled. These changes are subject to change, and parents are advised to check the school's social media platforms on Friday morning. Anniston City Schools announced this afternoon they will have an E-Day on Friday as well. All students will be given assignments to be completed and turned in on Monday. Anniston has also canceled all after-school activities Friday, including this week's football game. Jacksonville City Schools have canceled this evening's activities. They have also canceled school for tomorrow, but will have their football game as scheduled.
When we return, utility workers across the South are gearing up for a stormy night and possibly several busy days ahead.
For over 60 years, Oxford Lumber has been servicing our area, and our customer service has always been our main focus. Our customer service is what sets us apart from anyone else. From the moment you enter, our highly trained staff will treat you like family.
To enthusiastically provide total customer satisfaction within a positive and self-fulfilling employee relations environment. Visit us at any of our 4 locations or at oxfordlumber.com.
Getting my car serviced is easier than ever with Buster Miles Automotive Group in Cleburne and Calhoun County. They pick up my car, service it, and deliver it back. Convenient, efficient, and top quality. Schedule your service today and see why Buster Miles Automotive Group is the smart choice.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by WM Grocery, located in Heflin, Wedowee, Roanoke, and in Piedmont.
As Hurricane Helene makes landfall this evening in Florida, Alabama Power is prepared to support restoration efforts where needed. In a statement released this afternoon, company officials said their crews are closely monitoring Hurricane Helene's path and stand ready to respond. In addition to company crews and local contractors, they've secured additional external resources that are staged and prepared to assist in storm restoration efforts. The company asks its customers to follow their local emergency management authorities and monitor weather updates. Customers may also sign up for outage alerts to receive text messages or email updates as crews work to restore service. These personalized notifications help track restoration and timing for when power is expected to be restored. Customers may sign up by texting Enroll to APC Out, that's 272-688, using a cell phone registered to an Alabama Power account. Customers who experience an outage can report it by visiting alabamapower.com, downloading that Alabama Power mobile app, or by calling customer service at 800-888-2726.
When we come back, East Alabama prepares to accept Florida and Georgia residents displaced by the storm.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by Waldrop Manufacturing, metal buildings made right here in Calhoun County.
The Alabama State Parks Division is prepared to take in guests impacted by Hurricane Helene. For those needing accommodations, online reservations can be made at reserve.alapark.com. Guests may also call 1-800-ALA-PARK with any additional questions. The Parks Division has weather-aware teams that are ready to assist with reservations at all 21 Alabama state parks. The state welcomes people to make camping, cabin, or lodge reservations at the park that best fits their needs. Storm shelters will also be available throughout East Alabama as high winds and heavy rains make their way northward this evening. The city of Jacksonville and Jax State have several community safe rooms that are built to withstand strong storms. Jacksonville officials recommend saving this list to a cell phone and refer back to it anytime severe weather makes an appearance in northeast Alabama.
Well, Katie, it sounds like the preparations have been made. But the question is, how severe is it going to be?
That's a good question, and it's one for John Holder, who joins us now in the EAN Weather Center. John?
Mike and Katie, it will be a rough night across East Alabama. We're talking a lot of rain and a lot of wind. We will detail how much rain and wind coming up next.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today.
Well, another day where temperatures just did not move very much at all across East Alabama. We started off this morning at 66, about 5 degrees above the average, but only 70 for the high, only rising 4 degrees during the day with all the rain and cloud cover. We had no sunshine today. That high temperature 13 degrees below the normal. Record high temperature 97, the record low at 40. Sun setting at 6:34 tonight and the sun rising tomorrow morning at 6:35. Time for weather on your street on this Thursday night. It is going to be a dark and stormy night, I'm afraid, all across East Alabama, including on Wind Ridge in Jacksonville up in North Oaks. Heavy rain tonight and wind. We're going to see the rain increase throughout the night. The wind will increase throughout the night. 63 for the low overnight as we have a hurricane that by the wee hours of the morning will be passing within 100 miles of us, less than 100 miles. So that's going to impact us very much coming up tonight. During the day tomorrow, the morning time is the worst time. That's why we have the delays for the schools across the area. Breezeway Circle out in Weaver, rain and wind early in the day. We think by lunchtime this will be winding down. Helene moves up into Tennessee. Again, a very cool day tomorrow with temperatures about 10 degrees below the average, 73, but drying out by tomorrow afternoon. The weekend across East Alabama, vastly different. Sunshine returns on both Saturday and Sunday on Sunnyvale Drive in Gadsden. Plenty of sunshine there. Temperatures will be very pleasant, mainly in the mid to upper 70s. A fantastic weekend. I think we deserve that after the storms we've been going through for the last day or so and what's coming tonight and the early part of the day tomorrow. Here is that all-important 7-day forecast for all of East Alabama. Chance of rain tomorrow, about 60% overall. That balances out to about 100% in the morning and then about 0% late in the afternoon. Go call it 60%, 73 for the high. Beautiful weekend coming up. 75 Saturday, 78 on Sunday. Plenty of sunshine, no rain at all for the weekend. Nighttime lows very comfortable. Mid 60s on Saturday morning, lower 60s. Look at these temperatures that are coming. Some very fine weather. We see this both in severe weather season after we have a big tornado outbreak or after a hurricane. The weather turns really good after that, and that's what we've got coming up. Temperatures in the 70s this weekend, low 80s for most of next week. Nighttime lows in the low 60s. No chance of rain in the forecast until about Thursday of next week. We've got another system coming through. And by the way, a lot of the tropical models out there are showing another hurricane in the Gulf coming up in about 8 or 9 days. We'll be watching that very carefully as we make our way through the next week or so. Let's talk in depth now about Helene and the effects. This is going to be a storm that is going to really, at this point in time, track right up I-75 through the heart of the state of Georgia. This thing could be a Category 2 hurricane as far north as Tifton, Georgia. That is really significant. We're on the west side of that. We will not have nearly the effects they'll have on the east side of that, but this thing is tracked to go right through downtown Atlanta, and that is going to basically give us a lot of wind here in East Alabama, a lot of rainfall. We're talking rainfall amounts overnight that could be 3 or 4 inches, maybe more than that in some locations, and a lot of wind. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at what we expect as far as wind goes. In this area in the brown here, which includes Etowah and Calhoun counties and points off toward Birmingham, basically from the 431 corridor to the 280 corridor. That's kind of what we're looking at. We're going to see 10 to 15 mile per hour winds, gusts maybe up to 40 miles an hour, something like that in those areas. Now, you get right along the state line here, and as you go north to south, Cleburne County, Randolph, down into Chambers and Lee County, including places like Heflin, Roanoke, Lafayette Valley, Auburn, places like that. That's where you're going to see higher winds. They'll be closer over here to the path of the hurricane, so you can see winds at 50 miles per hour, maybe a little higher than that at times over in the overnight hours tonight. Again, most of our impact, we told you last night, most of our impact from 7 o'clock to 7 o'clock. We can narrow that down even further. We think most of the bad weather tonight is going to be late tonight and in the overnight hours. So again, you need to keep an eye to the sky and be prepared for some of those wind gusts. Best thing to do tonight is stay inside. Don't be out in these driving rains, the flooding rains. We have a flood watch. We have a wind advisory. Don't be out in any of that. This will pass very quickly, and by lunchtime tomorrow, we'll be on our way to good Friday night football and a good weekend all across East Alabama. I'll be back here bright and early at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, breaking down that Friday weather at a glance, and right back here tomorrow night for EAN Local News as we'll detail that weekend forecast for all of East Alabama. Coming up next in sports, a lot of great high school football games coming up across East Alabama. One of those, Welborn and Cleburne County. Jordan Smith has a preview right now in sports. Jordan?
Thanks, John. This week marks a week in high school football where not all teams have to play in region play. Some elect to play a non-region game, and some others take the week off. For Welborn, they elected to take on a team that is 2 classifications higher than they are. Last week, the Panthers traveled to Sax and came out with a 3A Region 6 win over the Sax Wildcats, 26-14. Welborn is now 2-0 in region play and 4-0 on the season. But they have a tough road ahead, and it all begins tomorrow as Cleburne County comes to the hill. The Tigers are in Class 5A and last year pulled the upset at Welborn on senior night. This year, they couldn't be coming into town at a better time for the Panthers, as the second half of their schedule has some of the best teams in their region.
Well, I think it'll prepare us a lot. I think their team is playing hard. I think they're improving this year, and I think it'll be a good test for us.
The biggest question on everyone's mind is how will Hurricane Helene affect tomorrow night's game? Fortunately, the rain should be gone around lunch, but Coach Smith says their field should be ready for game time.
Well, our field drains real well, and I feel like the surface will be good for us on Friday. I think it'll be good for both teams. Again, our field's in good shape. It drains well, and it'll hold up.
Tonight was supposed to be a big night for the Coosa Christian Conquerors as they were set to host the Fife Red Devils, but due to weather, the game was pushed to tomorrow night. Coosa Christian goes into tomorrow night's game as the number 5 team in Class 2A. Last year, the Conquerors were the Class 1A state runner-up, and tomorrow night, they will host the number 3 team in Class 3A, the Fife Red Devils. Fife has 7 state championships dating back to 2014, but have been to the championship game 9 times. So you can consider tomorrow night's game a championship of bragging rights. Coosa Christian has a record of 4-1. Their only loss comes to Georgia perennial powerhouse Pierce County. The Red Devils also have 1 blemish on their record this year after losing to number 1 in Class 2A, Pisgah, early this season. The Conquerors have already defeated a school larger than they are, Pell City, 17-7. Tomorrow night, Coosa Christian will look to do the same thing, this time at Philip Ellen Stadium in front of their home crowd. That's it for EAN Local Sports. Let's head back over to Mike and Katie.
Thanks for the update, Jordan, and thank you for watching today. You can find us every weeknight on Facebook and YouTube, our website, and now on Rumble.
Go to the platform of your choice and watch our news, sports, and weather coverage whenever it's convenient for you. We'll see you back here Friday for your news on your schedule.